so earlier you mentioned this thing of you feel like there's not enough time in the day. I don't want to end on this. Martin Scorsese, we gotta, obviously
Master,
we gotta
right.
talk about
Our
Martin
Yoda
Scorsese.
over here.
I don't know if we're allowed to do an episode now without mentioning him. So he just released Killers of the Flower Moon, or is currently releasing it. And a lot of people are saying it's one of his best movies.
Yeah.
And he's a great example of mastering your skill. And he has this interview quote that came out recently where he was like, he's like, I'm at a place where the world has opened itself to me in a way that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Everything is interesting. And I'm probably butchering the quote, but everything is interesting. Everywhere I look, there's something so, expansive and great. And I don't have enough time.
Yep. And that's how I feel.
And and Martin Scorsese, obviously it's a little different when me and you have that feeling, but he's dealing with the great equalizer.
Yeah.
He's in his 80s at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that his days are very numbered. He doesn't have enough time, and he's reached that point of mastery and that point in the journey where everything is. And he compared it to Kurosawa, who also had a similar statement. Of, I think when he won his Oscar, he was thanking everybody, and he's like, I'm still trying to grasp the true fabric of cinema. He's like, maybe one day I will, and I'll earn this award.
Yeah.
And this is at the end of his life. I think this might have been for Ron, or one of the greatest movies ever, but later in life. And he's what we would see as a master, and he's like so far beyond that. He's like, I haven't quite realized yet, but hopefully I will. And Scorsese's like, I don't think he's saying that he's there, but he's like, look, man, everything's opening. And Joel Meyerowitz has said similar. He's like, everything's open, and there's just like the time to capture it all.
Yeah, and I would say
it's the irony of the path of mastery, right? Is by the time you finally get there.
Well, and possibly constraint too. What does constraint do to impact your perception of what's out there for you to create? For me, I have a lot of time constraint.
Yeah.
Whether it's obligations to the things that earn me revenue through my channel or my family.
Yeah.
Like, today, my wife had very pressing stuff that had to get done at work, and I shifted my morning to take both the girls to Dottie's tennis camp, and I sit there, and my time is now compressed to try to squeeze in all this stuff that I was hoping to do today. And there's not frustration, whatever, but working on this with you, I brought all my crap. I brought my AirPods. I'm going to go to the coffee shop afterwards, and I'm going to crank out some proposals, and I'm going to write a draft for a video idea I have, and an article on Medium.
I'm going to do it all.
And I feel that way every day. Some of the stuff where I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do that, but I need to. And other the stuff like I can't wait to write that article, or I can't wait to take those photos. I think about little projects like the fireworks one I mentioned, going to different small towns in western Iowa and taking photos, documenting documentary ideas, all this stuff that I'm like, there's not enough time in a day, a week, a year.
Yeah.
I don't know enough people to help me, all of that stuff. And I know that
it almost comes down to, like Scorsese, he probably has 2 projects that he's working on.
Sure,
and
right.
He's just like, look, man, everything is great, but I gotta, one foot in front of the other. And with you, it's like, you gotta pick. You've gotta have that constraint. And you've taught me this lesson of just like, there's only a few things that you can pay attention to.
Right.
And
yep.
You better choose those things wisely. Because you can't overextend yourself. You spread yourself too thin, you're not going to accomplish anything with it. And you've got to learn to separate what's important to you, and what's just a waste of time. And then you always have this bank of ideally
a well that you
can
can tap into of things that you can that you can work on or explore or whatever.
It had been a golden afternoon. and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the sunrise.